Greetings, Professor McKee here with another quick Excel tip your finance professor wishes you knew. In this video, we will learn how to use the rate function in Excel to find the interest rate for an ordinary annuity. In any intro finance class, you will have a unit on annuities, and we professors will always have questions where we give you 4 of the 5 annuity characteristics and ask you to find the missing one. If you want to ace those questions, this video is for you. I prepared a standard question here asking us to find the interest rate of an annuity. Now, to get started for an annuity question, it's best to convert our verbal description of the annuity characteristics into our actual numbers. So, first one will be N for number of periods. We are planning to save once a month for 5 years. Therefore, this person has 12 payments per year, 5 years. 12 times 5 is 60. The interest rate, that's unknown. We skip that because we're going to find that. The present value, our annuity present value here is going to be 0. No initial savings were given, and in that case, I assume I start with nothing. This is going to be quite common with annuities where we don't start with any value. Each month is a payment of 500, so payment is going to be 500. And future value, that's the amount I'm trying to accumulate here. That's going to be the 40,000. Now, I need to go back now and change either payment or future value to be negative. I'm going to choose to do it to payment. So I'm going to make payment negative 500. The reason I'm doing that is because the Excel function that we are about to use assumes that we are finding the interest rate from someone's perspective. And the Excel function will not work if present value, payment, future value don't have the correct signs. In this case, I'm treating the annuity from my perspective, and the payments into the savings account are cash going out in a certain sense, and then the 40,000 that will be accumulated at the end is cash coming back in to me, although again, this person probably could in theory take that 500 back out. We're going to consider it as cash going out and cash going in. If I didn't do this, you would either get an error message, which is good because then you know something is wrong, or you get a wrong number and you don't realize perhaps that there's a mistake, and then you get the question wrong and you lose points. But I've changed payment to be negative 500, so I won't make that error. Now I go to cell B7 next to interest rate and type equals rate. Open parentheses, and Excel displays the parameters we need to put in to this function. First parameter is N per, stands for number of periods. We had 60 months in this 5-year period, 60 payments in this annuity. Payment is next, PMT. We're going to put in our payment, which is 500. I'm going to make sure it's negative 500. PV is present value. That was 0. And then FV for future value. Excel has a default value. We know that because of the closed brackets. The default value is 0. 0 is not the amount we're trying to accumulate here. We're trying to accumulate 40,000. So I put in 40,000 instead of leaving it blank or putting 0 in. And then type and guess we can leave alone. They will be fine as their default values. So close parentheses, enter, and I get an interest rate. My interest rate on this annuity, the monthly rate, is 0.94%. Now, if we want to be a little fancier, use better Excel practices, and most importantly, be able to reuse this Excel file for future annuity questions, which there will certainly be more annuity questions than just one, we can use cell references instead. So instead of putting everything in the function directly, we can tell Excel what cell it should be using for that value. So for a number of periods, that was put into B6, so I can type in B6. And now Excel has highlighted the cell. It's colored blue up here as well, matching, so we know where B6 is if we are just looking visually. And Excel will look at the value in B6, which right now is 60, and it'll plug 60 in as number of periods. periods. I can also click. So B9 was payment. B8 was present value. B10 was future value. And again, type and guess can be left alone. As you can see, we're getting the exact same 0.94%. We're just referencing these 4 values which we entered in instead of putting them into the function directly. Now, the reason we do this is because if we see a new question, we can just change the values, any of these 4 values, and our function will automatically update. We don't have to go into the function itself. So it's a cleaner and easier way to adjust when we see a new annuity question. And again, you're going to see new annuity questions. So for instance, let's say it's a payment of $400 a month. So he's only able to say 400 instead of 500. I just go here, I type in negative 400, and I have a new interest rate. And it has to be higher because I need to save more to accumulate that same 40,000. And I can do this for any of the 4 known parameters. All right, so with this single function, we can now find the interest rate of any annuity our professor might throw at you. Do be careful, though, that you find the correct interest rate that the question actually asks for. If the question had asked for an interest rate different than the monthly interest rate, our function is always going to give us the interest rate that matches our annuity payments. Payments were per month, so we get a monthly interest rate. If, say, your question asked for what's the annual interest rate, I would need to find the monthly interest rate like we just did here, and then do an interest rate conversion. So be careful, always read those questions carefully. Not doing that is a very common source of mistakes. If you found this video helpful, please comment, like, and/or subscribe so other students can find this video too. Happy studying.